So then, the starting grid for semi-final 2 of the 2016 EFRA 1 IC Track European Championship goes thus. Dario Ballestri, a former champion of this discipline. Robert Peach, a multiple former champion of this discipline. Bruno Coelho, a champion in the 1/10 version of this discipline. Daniele Ielasi, Anthony Abase, Merlin, just success and great drivers up and down this list. Merlin Depter actually starting from a higher level than last year, where he made it all the way from the quarterfinals up to the podium. And also you've got Tobias Kurler and our 3 qualifiers from the quarterfinals. Thibaut Leino, the veteran, Victor Wilk and Rick Vralnik of the Netherlands. Let's get ready to go. They are heading out onto the track, ready for the starting lineup. Here we go. We're about to find out the final 5 drivers that'll be in the final for 2016. Here we go. And it's a really solid start from Ballestri. The top 3 all line astern. In the back of the field we have a car upside down in the infield on the first corner. That was car 9 of Victor Wilk. Not a great start for him at all, but Ballestri, it's a great start. Let's drop back to the battle for third. John, as they come through the HPI hairpin, we're looking for the orange car, Bruno Coelho, third in line. As they come through the S-bends, Bruno Coelho got a good start, but he's under pressure immediately from car 4 of Daniele Ielasi. Coelho now switches from defence to attack. He's trying to actually challenge the rear end of Robert Peach's car. The German multiple champion of this event and world champion on this stage. And Coelho has actually dropped a little bit off him. Coelho is coming under fire from Daniele Ielasi a little bit more. These 4 are threatening to break away from 5th place Merlin Depter. So Dario Ballestri is driving exactly the race he needed. We spoke to him in the pits before this one. He was calm, he was fairly collected, but he was very analytical. He was paying a lot of attention to tyre wear, he was paying a lot of attention to strategy. Those are going to be key factors throughout this semi-final. And the top 4 are squeezing up again, the top 4 are compressing again. Ballestri's not getting away from Peach, and Peach is not getting away from Coelho. Coelho spent a few laps falling back into the clutches of Daniele Ielasi, but is now coming back at Peach with a vengeance. But he just has a little slip up every so often. Coelho, I think, is more of a 1/10 specialist, but he's no slouch in the 1/8 discipline as well. Through the HBI hairpin, round the S-bends. And Ielasi coming back at him again. The pressure is really mounting. We're only 2 minutes in, less than 2 minutes in. Heavy crosswind at the moment will be causing trouble for these drivers. The cars will be buffeted in certain directions. The cars won't respond in the expected way, especially down that back straight. If they catch a gust down there, that'll really threaten the stability of those cars. Through the HBI hairpin once more, the top 4 line astern. Ballestri, Peach, Coelho and Ielasi. Depter is not far behind these guys, but he's fending off the attentions of Abase, the Frenchman. So Coelho, big power slide. Coelho's style is so flamboyant. He's so on the ragged edge. It's great to watch. It's a magnificent spectacle. It's one that's won him a 1/10 championship. Is it a style that works in 1/8? We'll find out. And if he can make the final, that'll be a big clue. Ielasi staying right there on his coattails. It's going to be one of those races where you know pit stops are going to play a huge factor. Coming up towards the EFRA hairpin again. And down the back straight once more. Coelho is now, the gap has leaked out a little bit between himself and Peach, who's driving another picture perfect race. But in fact, just as I say that, Coelho is now coming back at Peach all over again. The fight is hard. And the battle is tense. Oh, a little bit, clipped the rumble strip just a tiny bit there to Coelho. I could disrupt the car just a little bit. It didn't disrupt it as much as it could have done. It could have been absolutely disastrous, but it says a lot that the top 3 right now are within a second of each other, and the top 4 are just 1.8 seconds apart from each other. In fact, Ielasi is closed right back in. I'd wager that gap is even smaller this time. Coelho is closed back in. They are staying line astern. This is thrilling stuff, and it would make total sense except for the fact there's only 3 of these drivers going through. So 4 into 3 does not go. Ielasi is the odd man out at the moment. The only way he'll make it through is if he manages to get a faster race time than 2 of the guys in the other semi-final, or the 5th place finisher in this semi-final, which he's pretty much sure he did. Coelho Trying to look up the inside. He's coming back at Peach once again. It's yo-yoing back and forth. I think Yalassi's made his first pit stop of the race because I can't see him there. Yalassi's back out now. Yes, Yalassi's back out now, so he's made his first pit stop. I think also, there's been a pit stop as well for Dario Balestri because these two are now the lead two on the track. Balestri has made a stop. And in fact, I think we've had a flame out over on the back. More pit stops now happening. So, down in the pits now is Bruno Coelho. Looking for a good stop. I think someone's had an issue at the far end. I think Depta's had an issue. I think it's Merlin Depta who's had a problem. Big sideways moment for Coelho as he comes out of the pits. He is right behind Dario Balestri, of all people. So a very good stop for Coelho. But I think big problems for Merlin Depta. Yes, he's falling down the scoring loop. There will be no more heroics for the podium this year. And I think Depta in the Serpent car. His EFRA 2016 Euros ends here, I'm afraid. I think he may have got that car back running, but it's laps down. Tobias Curler is the car I can see out there, the orange car. This is Coelho we're watching right now, and the battle for third has picked up once more. There's barely half a second between him and Yalassi, and in fact, it's Linus Stern all over again, because the white car just in front is Robert Peach. The three of them can't break away. Balestri's had the most net gain out of that. He's put a little bit of a gap between these guys. It's not much, but at this point, it's an absolute chasm. Look at that between Balestri and Peach. And then Peach, Coelho and Yalassi are nose to tail all the way through. Plenty of shouted commands from up on the driver's stand, down to the pits. It's so hard to hear yourself think, let alone shouting over the cars as well. Yalassi looking for a draft down the back straight, looking for the move into the HBI hairpin. Coelho is wise to him, very defensive. He throws the block. Makes that car nice and wide. Denies Yalassi the route through. Yalassi looks like he has the quicker ground speed since coming out of the pits. And he will make the move this time, does he? No. Shuffling left to right through those S-bends. Coelho once again with the advantage. Yalassi gets a little bit loose in the rear end. That'll cost him a little bit of time. Coelho now can afford to go back after Robert Peach, who's starting to make a getaway for second place. This is absolutely fascinating stuff. This is like a pendulum. It's swinging back and forth between each driver. Coelho is swinging back and forth between threatening for second and being threatened by Yalassi to slip down to fourth. And Balestri is being reined back in as well, so he's not immune to this either. These four are absolutely neck and neck in terms of pace. As I say, the big problem will be that only three of these guys are guaranteed to go through. If Yalassi keeps this up, he's got a good chance of being one of the best fourth or fifth place finishers at the very least. But at the same time, as they come flying through those corners, no part of this track is flat, by the way. All of the corners have subtle elevation changes, slight cambers, and particularly the bank corners at the end of the back straight. But none of these guys, only three of these guys are guaranteed to go through the EFRA hairpin again. And down the back, Coelho within touching distance of Peach once more. If he can get the move done on Peach, that'll give him some breathing room. Coelho looking the big shuffle through the S-bends. Balestri's not that far ahead, but Balestri is great. He took the lead last year in the final, but had a flame out, and his championship hopes came to an end. But Balestri is great at getting out into a lead, and it's almost like no one else is there. It doesn't matter how close you are. It's like he isn't paying attention to you in the slightest. So Coelho now, fresh from threatening Peach, is now falling back into the clutch of Yalassi again. This is a fascinating pendulum. It swings back the other way again, back towards Yalassi, who's still very much in touch. And it's worth noting that these guys are up comfortably over Anthony Abasay. Oh, and a car upside down there. That's car 4. That's Daniele Yalassi, who's upside down. Drama for the fourth place runner. Massive drama. We've refound the battle for second and third. Good timing as well. Coelho's taken advantage of Yalassi having an issue there. 4 becomes 3. Can someone else play themselves into contention, or will one of these guys stumble as well? Coelho is menacing the rear wing of Peach's car. They come under our platform again. Balestri makes a second stop. Balestri appears to be short pitting. Lovely pass from Bruno Coelho. Really, really nicely done. Now there's the guy who can find a chink of space to make the pass where no one else can. That's one of Coelho's great strengths. He's his racecraft is second to none. Down the back straight through the banking once more. Peach now down to a net second place. These guys will probably be down to second and third once Balestri makes his pass, but Peach is coming back at Coelho. Coelho can sometimes be a little bit ragged in race situations. We saw that in Turkey last year. He had enough raw speed, but sometimes he's ragged, sometimes he's making a little mistake, bringing others back into contention. Balestri is running fourth right now by dint of Anthony Abasay, I don't think, taking his pit stop yet. And it's fascinating. Yalassi now down in 8th spot, so that was the damage caused by his flip there. And issues for Teemu Lainu elsewhere on the track. Right now we're watching Coelho. Coelho hits the pit lane. He's in. Looking for a smooth stop out of the X-ray camp. He's down and away. That's a good stop. And he will come out just behind Dario Balestri, exactly where he's been for the entire race. And expect Robert Peace to come out in almost exactly the same spot as well. I think Abasse's flamed out on the far side. I think Abasse pushed his fuel too far, maybe. Didn't get the fuel strategy right, and it takes an absolute eternity because this track is so huge and there's so many twists and turns. You can't just sprint across an infield to get to a car. It takes a long time for them to recover the cars. So this is killing Abasse's race. Meanwhile, Balestri and Coelho are in a little world of their own right now. Robert Peace is still leading. In fact, Peace has just come back out of the pits now, and Peace is behind these two. So if we drop one car back, Jan, just off that corner, the white car next in shot, that's Robert Peace. There's the man who's now third overall. He's dropped a little bit. He had a slower pit stop than those two. A slower pit stop cycle for Peace. But he is so great at making that fuel last. And I'll tell you who's now up in fourth. Rick Vralnik is now playing himself into contention.
The slower pit stop of Peace is someone has pointed out in the YouTube chat that he may do one less stop than everyone else.
That's a very, very good point. He may have been taking on more fuel.
I don't know what they base their information on, but we will see.
That's very true. And to be fair, Balestri's pit stops have been a lot earlier than Peace's as well. So it might be that Peace is going for that one less fuel stop. He's very good at stretching the fuel out. He's got a kind of Scott Dixon kind of quality of being able to make a car go faster whilst still saving fuel. It's a dark art, I tell you. But there goes Peace down the back. And as I say, I tell you who's played themselves into contention right now is Rick Vralnik, the last of our guys to transfer in from the quarterfinals. So Peace is up around 4 seconds on him right now, on Vralnik. So there's a lot to keep an eye on here. Contenders for that fourth spot have drifted and fallen by the wayside time and again. From Abasse to Yalassi. Yalassi's now back up to fifth spot, actually. His recovery's going well. Teemu Lainu now showing in sixth place as well. But this is happening quite a way back from those guys. Coelho is still pursuing Balestri. I think Abasse was the guy that just passed there. It says a lot about Abasse's race. It's fallen to 4 laps down. Depta's race ended far too earlier on. But Abasse is not behind Peace on the track there. He's been passed. He is multiple lap down. And some great calculations coming in. We're working out from Peace is trying to nail pit stops exactly every 5 minutes. The others seem to be pitting a little bit earlier than that. So it may be that Peace is going for that strategy of pitting one less time. If that works in the final, if you extrapolate that over the final, he'll end up pitting at least 2 less times. And if he's this fast, at the same time, he's fast enough to stay with these guys while still saving the fuel to make it work, then that is a recipe for victory right there. I can tell you, not far ahead of these guys, Yalassi and, Balestri and Coelho are still running a good race. Coelho has gone on for another lap. Balestri's pitted now, for context. That's 7.5 minutes to go. Peace continues on his way then. And it may well be that this extra stop strategy is the one that's going to win him this race and get him one of those guaranteed spots into the final. At the moment, it's good enough for second place. Coelho comes across. Coelho will be pitting in about a lap or two's time as well. Oh, a big crash down beneath us from Anthony Abasse. His race has gone from bad to worse overall. That car is stopped on the track, the 977. It gets back going, but I think the handling's damaged on that car. It is compromised. So let's find our current third place driver. That's Dario Balestri, who is coming into the HPI hairpin right about now, Jan. He's the white and orange car coming through the S-bends now. There he is. There's Dario Balestri, car number 1. He's made his pit stop. Remember, he's pitting earlier than the others. Round 3 comes. He is third as it stands. Coelho still leading, having not taken his latest stop. Peace, we think, is going a stop less than everyone else. Balestri is still there. He probably still has a stop to do. He almost certainly has another pit stop to do. Probably at around 3.5 minutes to go. Rick Vralnik is in touching distance of the top 3, but agonisingly not close enough to really mount a charge. He's doing his best to be there. If he picks up the pieces, Balestri, a nice pass on Coelho as Coelho returns from the pits. That should put Balestri, I think, back up into the lead, except for the fact, I think, yes, it has put them back up because Piche now is pitted and is back to third. So Piche now has about just under 6 minutes to go on this final fuel tank. That's a pretty long way to go for one tank of fuel, but you can bet that if anyone is able to try it and make it succeed, it's probably Robert Piche. So Balestri just ahead of Coelho. Then it's Piche. Then it's Rick Vralnik in fourth. Daniele Yalassi fifth. Yalassi on the comeback, trying to fight back to fourth spot. But it appears those guys are just too far back now. They're about 8 seconds down the road. Balestri and Coelho having a dance for the win. Remember, these two we're anticipating to pit again, so that could change the complexion of this race. That might be worth following these guys. We know Balestri still has another stop to make. He is leading right now, but he still has that extra stop to make, as does we think Coelho. Piche may not be able to make the end as well. It's going to be tight for him, I think, but maybe he's hoping to put in less fuel on his final stop. Maybe that's where the strategy comes from. Coelho right up behind Balestri now. Both these guys know that if they do have to pit again, that could potentially put them back in some trouble if those guys behind don't have to. We saw that earlier with Oliver Mack and a few other guys. Coelho is still there. The flamboyant Portuguese driver, the 2015 European champion in the 1/10th version of this discipline. Out in the sweltering conditions in Turkey. He beat the likes of Simon Kurzbuch, Dominic Greiner, and a whole host of stars out there. Teemu Lainu and others. Can he add a 1/8 championship to his resume? He's working hard to do just that, and he's challenging Balestri right now. These two pushing each other very hard through the closing laps. Piche, I can tell you, is still a fair distance up the road from his nearest rival. There was a little bit of contact there, I think, as Coelho made the move for the lead. Balestri is second. Balestri now second, behind Coelho. Now, these two can't start fooling around too much, remember. That could start to really hurt their chances if they knock each other off the road. It was a close battle. Coelho is renowned as a fantastic passer of cars. Let's have a look on the VRC Pro replay what happened there. Oh, that was it. Balestri clipped the rumble strip on the inside, and that sent his car off balance, caught him out, and he went wide at the next corner, and that allowed Coelho to sneak through. No contact at all. Balestri make a rare mistake, and Coelho sneaks through. These cars are coming up now to lap car number 9, which is Victor Wilk, one of our qualifiers from the quarterfinals. And Balestri's in for his final stop. Now, this is going to be pivotal. Balestri in then. And it is literally just a splash and dash that almost nothing went in the car there. So he's back out, and the point is he's back out in plenty of time to his nearest rival, which will be Daniele Yalassi. His comeback has been great here. So his comeback has been a good one. Will it be enough? I don't think so. Balestri, I think we scored at around the third spot now. Piche has come in. Coelho. Bruno Coelho's just gone through the TKR turns, so he's in front of us in the all-orange car. Just a pit stop for Piche, so he did have to make another stop there. Balestri and Piche have just levelled out. Coelho is going onto the back straight now, so he's just ahead of Balestri. He's one car ahead of Balestri. I think all of these guys are pitted one more time. No, I think Coelho still needs to make a stop. It's literally going to be a splash and dash, although I'm thinking that's about the same gap as they had before, so I wonder if Coelho has made the pit stop in all of that. I think he has. Either way, Teemu Lainu has now snuck up into 4th place, but he's 10 seconds shy of 3rd place Robert Piche. So at this point, he's going to be needing miracles to get into the final. Although, actually, I'm just having a look here. I'm just seeing where Piche is. As the car is flamed out on the far side. Not Coelho. It's another all-orange car. It's the car 7 of Tobias Köhler, who called the technical timeout, remember. Let's just find Jan. Let's stay in the first few corners. Let's stay around here. The next car coming through will be Robert Piche, the all-white car. Car 2. There he is. There's your 3rd place car. Now, I want to follow him. Mainly because he's 3rd. But the 4th place Teemu Lainu is not that far back, you know. He's only about 3.2 seconds back. And Daniele Yalassi is still in contention as well. He's a further 2nd and 2/10 back. Vralnik is not that far back too. There's a little measure of the gap for you. Piche, you think, will have enough experience and enough to get home without making any mistakes. 4.2 plays 7.3 that time. Lainu with the faster laps, but only by a few tenths. I think he's going to have to make a lot more time on him a lot faster than that, because he's got 70 seconds to make that gap up. And that's going to be hard work when you're dealing with a multi-times European and world champion in Robert Piche. Coelho is gone past the 40-lap barrier. It looks like Bruno Coelho will have done just enough to beat Balestri to the flag in this one, but here's where the battle is at the moment. Piche at the moment on a 4.6 seconds down. Lino 7.6, exactly 3 seconds. Lino is chipping those tenths out of him. They're almost down in the hundredths of seconds. But the problem is Lino needs to be taking full seconds out of him. And I just don't think it's possible when you're dealing with an opponent as strong as that. And especially seeing as Daniele Alassi is coming back into the picture as well. In that battle for fourth. Piche looks like he's probably going to have enough to hold on here. 4.7 plays 7.7. They're leaking out time to the leaders, but it doesn't matter. Piche is just managing that gap behind him. I'm not sure if this will be the final lap or if they'll do another, and the flagman is out there, so this may well be the final lap. I don't think for Coelho. I think Coelho and Balestri are putting such a pace in. Piche will come around for an extra lap, and so will Lino, so will Yalassi, so we will have one more lap around for all of them. Piche down the far end of the circuit for the final time. Lino has closed in again, 2.7 seconds now. It's not going to be enough, I don't think. Lino is working exceptionally hard to make a late tilt for the final. I don't think it's going to be enough. Meanwhile, up front, Bruno Coelho and Dario Balestri are going to cross the line nose to tail. A great finish for them. And the final qualifier from this semi-final will be Robert Piche. A great performance from those drivers. A round of applause up here. That was some masterful driving. Teemu Laine has a wry smile. He did his best to work hard and pressurise Piche in the late going, but he was not able to do it in the end. There's Dario Balestri, there's Coelho, there's your qualifiers, there's Robert Piche. They're all delighted with that performance. A really good drive. So, the final result then will be Bruno Coelho taking the victory ahead of Dario Balestri, and Robert Piche will be your final qualifier. We will also see who our qualifiers will be from the best 4th and 5th place finishers.